I am Gaius, a Sagittaria, a Roman archer. Many believe Rome disdained bows, but I will tell you the truth of our craft.
From the kingdom's start, through Republic and Empire, the bow evolved. Sometimes rare, sometimes deadly, then essential.
Early Rome favored the blade, staff and shield, not marker. They called it honorable. We called it foolish, sometimes. My ancestors, the Etruscans, knew the bow well. But Romans preferred close encounter, the clash of steel.
Heavy infantry ruled. Hoplites, then legionaries with gladius and pilum. That was the Roman way then.
Light troops used javelins and slings. Few Italians trained as archers. They just didn't see the value.
Missile tools were seen as lesser, not as brave. This meant few archers, and always foreigners. But as Rome grew, we met foes who showered markers. We learned quickly then, the hard way.
By the 2nd century before Caesar, Rome hired us, Cretans and Numidians. Mercenaries, they called us. Caesar himself used us to guard his flanks, to break cavalry charges. He understood our worth. Pompey too. Thousands of Eastern archers with him at Pharsalus. The wind sang with our markers that day. Yet, even then, no Roman citizen archers. Always auxiliaries. Always from outside the legions.
Crassus's defeat by Parthian horse archers was a harsh lesson. Rome realized its weakness. Too late for him. By the late Republic, archers became standard. We were needed, not just tolerated.
Augustus formalized us. Professional archer units, the Sagittarii. That's my lineage.
In the early empire, we served everywhere. On foot, on horseback, from Britannia to the scorching east.
Most of us were from the east, Syria, Anatolia, Thrace. Lands where the bow is a second pair of hands. Our bows were composite recurved, wood, horn, and sinew, powerful, compact. Even in the damp cold of Britannia, they sang. I've seen reliefs, like on Trajan's column. Syrian archers in their scale mail, pointed helmets. My comrades.
Archers varied, broadheads for a clear view. Bodkin tips for piercing armor, sharp as a viper's fang.
We fought behind the legionaries, softening the enemy before their charge. A rain of end from afar. At sieges, we cleared the walls, covering our engineers. No defender could stand against our barrage.
Despite our deadly skill, we held lower status than the legionaries. They had the glory, we had the grim work. Then came the late empire. Parthians, Persians, Huns, masters of the mounted bow. The world changed again. Emperors like Gallienus and Constantine reformed our army. Mobile cavalry, horse archers integrated. They finally saw.
By the 4th century, mounted Sagittarii were common. Especially in the east, where the sun burns the sand. Rome even recruited Huns, Alans, Goths. Their bows were feared. Their skill was respected.
Late Roman bows advanced. Hunnic asymmetric designs. Better saddles for pointing accurately from a galloping horse.
By the 5th century, archery was central. Not just a supplement, but the core of our confrontation.
Procopius, he writes of us. Cavalry archers, the heart of Rome's forces. We were proud to hear it. The legions of old gave way. Now, mobile armies, bow-equipped, moved like hawks in the wind. The Byzantine Empire, our eastern continuation, perfected these methods. For centuries, our markers flew.
So why the myth? Because the Republic was fixed on the blade. The legionary was Rome's heart. But struggle changes. Rome changed. From disdain to mastery, the bow became vital. I saw it all happen.
Rome's strength wasn't tradition alone. It was adaptation. Even embracing the humble bow, once overlooked.
I remember my first bow, carved from a sturdy branch. My father taught me the knock, the draw. Release. My hands, calloused and scarred, know the feel of a composite bow. It's a living thing, alive with tension and power. The weight of the quiver on my back is familiar. each marker a whisper of end, guided by my eye and arm.
In the heat of conflict, the twang of my bowstring is music. The rush of air as the marker flies, a swift melody. I can contact a rabbit at 50 paces, even in fading light. It's not just skill, it's instinct.
I've sent markers through the necks of charging barbarians, seen them fall before they could reach our lines.
The feeling when my marker finds its mark, piercing steel or flesh, is a cold satisfaction. It's my purpose. My eyes are trained to spot motion, to judge distance and wind. Every breath is steady, every view deliberate. I've seen conflicts turn with a well-placed volley. A rain of markers can shatter a charge, break enemy morale. We often scout ahead, our bows ready. We are the eyes and ears of the legions when the ground is hostile.
The fear of the enemy when our markers begin to fall is palpable. They scatter, they falter. That's our moment.
I remember a siege in Dacia. Our markers rained down on the walls, making it impossible for their defenders to stand.
The siege engines advanced under a canopy of our markers. No man could raise his head without risking end.
I've spent nights on watch, my bow drawn, waiting for any shadow to stir. Sleep comes light to an archer.
The cold bite of the wind, the sun's glare, endless marches without us, these are my companions. My bow is my steadfast friend.
We choose our markers carefully. Some for distance, some for penetration. Each has its own story, its own target.
The fletching guides the marker. A perfect feather means a true flight. I fletch my own, like many of us.
The sound of 100 bows letting loose at once is deafening. A thunder of impending doom.
I carry an implement for close quarters, but my bow is my primary tool. It keeps me alive, keeps my comrades safe.
I once heard a legionary mock our bows, calling them toys. He didn't see the fear in the eyes of our enemies. But later, in a tight spot, his life was saved by my marker. He never mocked us again.
We operate in units, supporting each other. A wall of markers is stronger than a single view.
I've seen Parthian horse archers, their skill astounding. They ride and point as if one being. We learned from them, adopted their techniques. My horse is as much a part of me as my bow. Riding at a gallop, drawing and releasing. It takes years of dedicated practice to master. Many fall before they do.
My muscles remember the rhythm, the tension in my arm, the precise moment to loose the marker, even on uneven ground.
The Hunnic bows, asymmetric, they fly further with more power. We took their design, made it our own.
The Roman cavalry now has many of us. We ride with lighter armor, faster, more agile. Our markers deny the enemy ground, harass their flanks, break their formations before they even clash.
I've seen fierce Goths charge, only to be turned back by a storm of markers. Their courage broken by our reach. The sun rises and sets on new conflicts, new enemies. Rome must always adapt, always learn.
The Emperor himself understands our value now. We are no longer just auxiliaries, but an integral part of his might.
My grandfather told me stories of Romans confronting with bronze blades. The world changes, and so must we.
The whispers of new foes, beyond the eastern borders, speak of their own skilled archers. We are ready.
This string is a constant presence in my life. It has been my only source of protection on campaign. My arm aches after a long day of pointing, but it is a good ache, the ache of purpose. I've seen empires rise and fall. Only those who adapt survive. Rome learned this lesson well.
The dust of the battlefield settles, but our markers have made their mark on the enemy, on history.
I am an archer. My tool is older than Rome, and yet it is what secures Rome's future.
Some say the bow is dishonorable. I say it is effective. It saves lives of our legionaries.
My bow has tasted the red marking of many foes. It is a part of me, a part of Rome's enduring strength.
The composite bow, carefully crafted, takes skill to wield. Many years to master, a lifetime to perfect.
In the cold morning mist, my breath hangs in the air. Time to string my bow, prepare my markers. Another day, another march. My quiver is full, my bow is taut. Rome's strength is in our hands. The marker flies true, a silent messenger of Rome's unwavering will. That is my tale, and my life's purpose.